Let's go.
Thank you, Diana. Welcome to Comics League Dark. I'm your host, Jared, and today we have a packed show to discuss Superman, the Arkham Trilogy, Aquaman, Blue Beetle, all the fixins. So let's bring on my panel of two idiots and a good friend of ours. So let's go. Where's the intro?
Flame on.
What's up, dude?
How's everyone doing tonight?
And
I am Phoenix!
all right, the two idiots are here.
Atlas.
Screecher. So, and then for our good friend Nyx, I think I'll give her. What's up, Nyx?
Howdy.
And
See,
what is up,
I just
Hal
have-
Jordan?
I have something I need to say.
Hmm.
JJheat, why the frick did you start that fire over at Warner Brothers? Why?
It needed to be done.
But not like that.
Well, with what Warner Brothers have done, I think they've warranted it at this point. Hal
JJheat,
Jordan says,
we know you're lit AF, but this is getting ridiculous.
yeah. So Hal Jordan says Blue Beetle and Aquaman 2 should be max release only. Okay,
Cut
so
your losses. I completely agree.
let's
Cut
actually
your
start with
losses.
this. That's actually a good topic to start with. So the director of Aquaman, I think James Wan came out and said that Aquaman 2 is very standalone. You notice how a lot of these movies are starting to distance themselves from the DCEU?
I mean, yeah, like it's very clear this is damage control because I mean James Wan's not an idiot. Like he saw the reaction of Flash. Yeah. Also, I guarantee you, any hope of a Batfleck cameo is gone because like they're not gonna want anybody to show up. Like,
Yeah, I think what they're just gonna do is just cut their losses and run.
yeah, because from what I've heard, like Aquaman 2 has been testing really badly, and Blue Beetle is an unknown character.
Plus the fact
Blue
it's
Beetle, I just want to say.
Yeah,
this
go ahead.
real quick. Blue Beetle has gotten decent prominence with projects like Young Justice and even Smallville to a degree, but he's not to a degree. The CGI was bad.
Wait,
To a degree.
wait. That brought him a little bit of prominence.
It will. To be fair, it was mostly Young Justice and like the Camus movies because like they featured Blue Beetle.
But
Yeah,
Blue
Whoa,
Beetle
whoa,
did
whoa.
get a live action debut in Smallville. The CGI was terrible, but he did get a debut in that show.
And
That-
let's not forget Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
That's true.
He was
That's
pretty
true.
prominent in
You
it.
see when you bring
And
that.
by the way,
that's-
JJheat, you bring up Smallville brings this.
I regret
See-
nothing.
See, it doesn't see Blue Beetle's appearance on Smallville doesn't really matter. That's like mentioning that Harley Quinn's first live action appearance was on Birds of Prey. While
Oh,
you're
no.
technically correct, most people just really don't care.
Wait, wasn't that Suicide Squad 2016?
No,
Nope. Mm-mm.
no. It was literally 20 years earlier on Birds of Prey.
That
was
now
also
I
a
know what
mainstream.
you're talking about. Now okay.
I saw a little bit of the first episode of that show. It's not as bad as people say. It's just boring.
It really drags on after
I'm
a
like,
while.
get on to the point. And why are Bruce and Selena's kid a metahuman? I don't get this.
To
Just
be
doesn't
fair,
work.
they did at least reference Jason Todd in that show, so
Why
it's a
why
thing.
would that improve? But is this
because
before?
Jason was banned from being referenced in any way for like 15 years prior to Under the Red
Is this
Hood.
when he was dead in the comics?
Technically, this was around the same time as his
Also-
revival. in Under the
Oh,
Red
so
Hood.
he hadn't been punched back to life by Superboy Prime.
Also,
Pretty
I just
much.
want to note they brought in Lori Loughlin from Full House to play Dinah Lance. It's just some of the that is the most ridiculous casting I've ever seen. But
No.
still.
You know what's ridiculous? They brought in Dizzy from Starship Troopers to play Barbara Gordon.
Actually, I think she. makes
I've
a
seen
great
worse
role.
casting choices. Not gonna lie.
Like I gotta say, I will say the one that got to play Oracle, I think she was a great job, and I will say the actress for Helena Bertinelli, I thought did a great job with her character.
Yeah, my problem with that is that the metahuman power she had made no sense. Well,
Also,
it's-
why the frick does Black Canary have telekinesis?
wait, what?
Yeah.
Everyone just had telekinesis back in the day, don't you know?
Superman did in Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. And
Why did you say that name?
You
Thank you.
deserve that. You deserve
I
that.
Thank
know,
you.
I know,
Thank
I
you.
know.
But to
I
be
know.
fair, if you're okay, even if we are talking about briefly, I'm briefly going to mention Marvel. Even if we are going to talk about a certain comic that shouldn't be made, Birds of Prey 2002 did it first. And I'm pretty sure you know which character I'm talking about.
No.
Screen time.
Dweeb.
Oh, and also JJheat.
Why did you say that name?
Not like I
last thing
said, the other two.
The
I mean, it was
last thing
kinda
I want to
funny.
say, the
Yeah,
last
go
thing I
ahead.
want to say about Birds of Prey before we move on, they actually got Mark Hamill to come back and voice the Joker in that one.
Mhm.
So, gotta give them some credit for that.
I'll give him that, but it's too bad he
Yeah.
came back in such a okay show. But you'll end this way. He came
Dude.
back in Arkham Asylum, and that was way better. But anyway, and by the way, so Superman had telekinesis in Smallville, which
Wasn't
I'm
that
like,
briefly for like a filler episode?
I don't know. But speaking of filler episode, the Superman and Lois finale successfully redeemed the entire season. It makes sense.
Highly recommended. Highly
Like
recommended.
you see why why a lot of the episodes in here have featured no action because they were saving it for this episode.
All the
I think they
budget
blew
went
the budget
like,
on the finale alone.
yeah, it's like the last episode was like a black hole budget.
Pretty much.
Kind of. So I mean, now what do you got? So the question I have for us all here with Aquaman, The Last Kingdom being standalone, and Blue Beetle. Okay, are we just gonna write off Blue Beetle as probably a loss? Because here's the thing: it's being so far the projections are having it in like the 20 to 30 million opening weekend range. Even for
You
a
know what the
cheap movie.
hilarious thing? The movie is still tracking better than Indiana Jones. Like
That
you
is
hear
true.
that Indiana Jones is tracking at 17 million. Literally Blue Beetle. That's how bad Indiana Jones is. That Blue Beetle is tracking better than it.
Well, I heard there's a scene where Phoebe Waller-Bridge gets to punch Indy and calls it hilarious.
This movie deserves a bomb.
And
I'm
like, destroy it
I'm
with
probably going to
fire.
get heat for saying this, but Indy 5 is proof that at least commercially, the downgrading of men in movies, or at least legacy male characters, that trend is dead in the movie going experience.
All right, can we get a Bad as Dead bury it, please?
I
Roll
don't
the
have it on
clip.
my. I don't
Oh,
have it on
come
my
on!
thing, dude. I don't have it on my. You guys keep sending me clips to put on this show, and you guys don't realize I have a limited space on here.
We need to have a virtual meeting
Jared,
off panel where
perhaps-
we need to prioritize clips.
Jared, perhaps if you deleted half of the Snyder Cut, maybe you might have some room.
No,
That's never going to happen, Phoenix.
no.
But back on topic.
I have a feeling that the Rachel Brosnahan will be a good Lois Lane. More on that later.
More on that later.
Yeah.
But definitely a great choice. More on that later.
Yep.
But speaking of Aquaman 2, I definitely feel like, because like The Flash, you got a lot of baggage with Amber Heard cracking the bed and the box office, as well
Nice.
as thank you, as well as just such massive social media uproar. The Flash, you could argue, was salvageable if they had just delayed the film 6 months and just recast it Ezra Miller. At least if they had done that, you could argue it would have been commercially salvageable. But Aquaman 2 is just dead in the water. Jason Momoa is not going to be enough to salvage this movie.
I don't know. We'll see. Nick, that's blasphemy. Snyder cut his Bible. Yes, Snyder is the
Wait.
blueprint after all.
Wait, where did I drain Snyder
No,
Cut?
I mean deleting Snyder cut clips. I'm like, no, that movie is everything.
Nick's might actually have a better opinion than me about it, but I think Amber Heard is going to be the biggest crutch of this movie, of Aquaman 2.
What do you think, Nix?
I mean, after everything that's happened between her and Johnny Depp, and how public it was, and how vocal a lot of like his supporters have been, and just like, you know, basic decent human beings have been, I really don't think I have any hope for Aquaman 2.
Yeah, like it's like I mean, she got booted out of Hollywood after this. Because look how after this, look how low profile she still is. Like he's literally just ran over to Europe. Like he's got some European boyfriend. But like
Boy,
he's
does he have
gonna
no
abuse
idea what
him
he's getting
too.
into. Boy, does he have no idea what he just got into. So,
I'm
I
sorry.
mean-
I'm sorry. There's a
Poor
dirty
soul.
joke in there, but I can't.
save it for your show.
Keep the innuendos to a minimum, Phoenix. There's a lady present.
It's because of you I had to edit my Under Two Capes episode a little bit more. But anyway, I'm only kidding.
Oh,
But,
poppycock.
There's another thing that came out that it was an article that I saw yesterday, but I wanted to talk about it today. I kind of referenced it on Nick's show. By the way, Amber's presence will not affect. We'll have to thank the previous executives who effectively killed the DC brand. That is true.
I'm probably going to get the why'd you say that name for saying this, but even if you did factor the old regime and a certain executive, Emmerich just sold off the
Why did you say that name?
really?
At Emmerich.
Another certain executive just sold off the DC brand and cut his losses. That's pretty much what happened. And it was just pettiness from they could not admit they fundamentally screwed up with the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
But it's just, again, what Amber Turd did isn't as atrocious, but when you're trying to court the casual audience to go to the movie to actually pay for tickets, that's going to stand out. They supported Amber. They went on this whole campaign. They pretty much dragged Johnny Depp to the dirt to where we can't even get him to come back as Jack Sparrow anymore. And it turns out she was gaslighting everybody.
Captain Jack Sparrow to you.
Captain Jack Sparrow, thank you.
Now, with the amount of time we talk about Johnny Depp, I actually need that clip now.
See, here's the thing. As much as Johnny Depp is saying that now, and I fully believe, give it some time and give Disney enough desperation that they could probably lure him back into the fold.
It would have to be top dollar.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot write off member berries with Captain.
So they'll have to do this. So they'll have to show up with Johnny Depp and go,
$100 billion. Gentlemen.
Sorry,
because here's probably what's going to be is they're probably going to demand a public apology, like the apology post on the YouTube being like Jack Sparrow's back, kind of thing, and yeah, he's going to get paid very well.
Right there. If they didn't screw up, the DCU would be huge by now, just when normies were starting to get into it. Yep.
We really need to do Gunpoint. We need to do that.
We will do
and
that.
Speaking of certain points,
so
Bendis point is confirmed. And Phoenix, please keep that to yourself. But
so
Bendis Point is confirmed for Sunday evening around 8 p.m. or Monday, depending on scheduling conflicts. Because I know Jared is going to be doing a vlog for his con this weekend, and I have work. Yes, I have a life outside YouTube, surprisingly.
Oh, really? Are you running around on us, JJheat?
No, I'm working on my master's.
Oh, okay.
Like I've said this multiple times.
As someone who has a master's degree, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, now I feel inferior with just my lowly associate's degree.
Well, that's why we're on top. So there you go.
And that's where Nick says, "Wait, you guys have degrees?"
Didn't we agree to keep this PG?
Yeah.
Wait, how is that? Wait.
Can you imagine Aquaman making $1 billion and they're destroying Aquaman 2? Yeah, I can. It's Warner Brothers, and in that case, I might as well.
Actually, yes, I can imagine Aquaman. No.
Yeah, second Warner Brothers.
Thank you.
No, I have to do this. Let me do this.
And then we're done.
Yeah,
with this topic.
yeah, I can imagine Aquaman making $1 billion. It's called Aquaman 1.
Mm-hmm. So this is a topic that came to me when I was enjoying a nice sip of my morning coffee, and I had to read this multiple times. I'm gonna put an article on the screen, and we're gonna look at it. Gal Gadot debunks misogyny because she says men do want to see movies with women if the story is good.
He is so
really.
smart.
She
And
said,
she's right.
yeah, She says, "I'm a big fan of." And she was wondering if there was room for her because she's doing her own spy movie. Then she said, and I think that she got her confidence from Wonder Woman when Wonder Woman came out. It was a huge success. That was the thing. Really was wait, why do people say men don't want to see women? They do want to see movies with women. If the story's good, if the action's there, if it makes sense, they're all for it. Another reason to love this woman so much. And we got to movie. She also rebuked Hollywood's gender swapping tropes. She was against that. I wanted to show a great story about a female character who was doing it in the action genre, right? She's thriving, but at the same time, how many times have they just switched the gender?
Terminator, sequel trilogy to a degree. I feel like there's one more.
Terminator was even worse because they pretty much crapped on the franchise with Woke Fate.
You know what's
Didn't
even
they try to
worse?
do it with James Bond too.
Oh, there it is. There it is. That's
They even tried to do it with Velma. I brought that up because Nyx is here.
Actually, you know what's even worse? Like, Terminator even actually did, like, female gender swap, and they actually did it right. Who here has seen Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles?
I've seen an episode.
So that actually has a female Terminator as, like, the lead Terminator, and it's great! It's a great show!
Yes, it is. And they did
it twice. They even did a female T-1000 played by the lead singer of Garbage, and it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say this. Now, to an extent, you have to these businesses have to make a profit. They have to boost their ESGs and fulfill quotas. But at the same time, if the quality isn't good or you're not making a standard quality product, people are going to realize it's crap. Hold on, let me just angle my webcam here. And so yeah, I feel like despite these executives just crapping content out, it's a literal quantity versus quality approach, and it's now biting them in the ass. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, exactly. And she said they take a story that's all about men and they change it to a woman and then go shoot it. To me, it's so important in the DNA to make Heart of Stone a little different because men and women are different. They're built different. They operate different. Oh boy, you can't say that today.
She's right. She should say it.
She's right. Yeah, we all agree. And immediately when I heard that, I'm like,
she's out of line. But she's right.
No, she's not out of line. She's directly in line. She is 100% in line. She is in the
just
line.
Like that, Jared, you have completely
she is the line. She is the line.
Yes. So, and this gives me even more reason to support any movie that she is in. So I'm like, yes, I will go see any Gal Gadot movie. And then Brown Destroyer says Terminator became weaker than woke a female of
Marika.
I have no idea.
Are we talking about Avatar 2? Like,
or are we talking about the Last Airbender movie? And the general.
Why did you say that name?
Roll the clip.
It's my show. It's my house. The general audience will watch a good product regardless of the lead character.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Hal Jordan.
To a degree.
Legit.
So next topic. So hey, what's up, Tabia?
Yeah.
Well, we do have a Superman topic in here, and the Arkham Trilogy is releasing on Switch, and the problem is that they screwed the pooch.
Big time.
Of course.
Big time.
How did they screw the pooch? Tell me.
All right, so remember they said only Asylum is going to be on the cartridge, and you have to download the other two.
See, here's the thing. Nintendo pulls this crap all the time. Like for the Spyro Reignited trilogy, only one game was on the disc. For the BioShock collection, only the intro of all three games was on the cart. You know, it's actually the exception that you get the entire game on the cart. It's so rare nowadays. Like when you see like partial download required, like I know Tony Hawk did it, GTA did it. All these games do because these companies don't want to pony up for the higher capacity cards. You know, and it's bull crap. I want to curse, but my respect for Jared is preventing me from doing it.
Thank you. First, is it worth buying?
If you're okay, so I'm like the resident Switch fan here. I think Nyx also has a Switch, so he can speak to this as well. I would say if you don't have it elsewhere, and you're gonna buy it digitally, because Buying it physically, there's kind of no point because you're going to download the other two games as well anyway. So if you buy it digitally and you don't have it elsewhere, because these games are cheap as crap on like other consoles or on like PC. So if you only have a Switch and you're getting it digitally, then yes.
And speaking of definite downgrades, have you checked out the new game trailer for the new Avatar: Last Airbender game they're coming out with soon?
Yeah, my initial reaction, I was kind of enthusiastic, but like after looking at it, it looks so cheap.
Generic.
To be fair, the most at Last Airbender, I'm speaking of Atla specific games, were like from the GameCube, PS2, so it's nostalgic, if I could say, but it's definitely cheap. But like even with Legend of Korra, granted that game was mid, but at least it's somewhat enjoyable. Going off that trailer, if I wanted to go back to the 2000s, God, what I would do to go back to the 2000s.
I mean, Avatar is one of those worlds that like it would make such a great game, and there has been like fan made attempts at like there's a fan made game that looked amazing. There's actually like VR fan games like Earthbending Rumble where people like earthbend rocks at each other that looks really good, and it's like the potential is there for Avatar to make a really great like. I want Avatar to get like the Hogwarts Legacy treatment so freaking bad.
What do you guys think of the One Piece trailer? I didn't watch it.
Remains to be
your-
seen.
I hate it.
Why do you hate it, Nix?
So I was never really the biggest One Piece fan growing up, or even now. But I definitely watched like an episode or two, and I read the first couple of volumes of the manga when I was going to a very Catholic elementary school.
Oh wow, that was bold of you.
Yeah, I have no idea how, but the library, the school's library had it.
Oh wow.
Had both of them. They had Yu-Gi-Oh too, but the Yu-Gi-Oh one was in French for some reason.
Wait, are we talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Chapter 0 or the actual anime adjacent?
Like the
Yu-Gi-Oh! manga?
anime adjacent.
Okay, I was about to say, nowhere.
To be clear,
with
a
that.
Catholic in this library, they had a show about people summoning demons.
Yes.
Wow.
Monsters technically, but yes.
Christianity and Catholicism in particular is not known for its consistency.
Yeah, I was surprised
Depends on the
too.
group.
Looking back on it, I'm like, wow, I'm surprised we had that. Especially because it was in a very small village area, the school.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Spider Girl, so that was also pretty cool. But regardless, One Piece, like I said, it's not something I ever really got into, but it's definitely something that I understand. And I can tell you one thing about the main character. I don't really know how to pronounce his name, but I've heard a lot of people say Luffy.
Monkey D. Luffy.
Luffy, okay. So, in the trailer, they there's this one line, and he's like, he sounds very sarcastic in it. And I'm like, that's not Luffy. He's a goofy sort of, not Goku clone, but like, in the same way that Goku is very naive and good-hearted, that's Luffy to a T.
Think of Goku and Naruto combined into one. That's basically what Monkey D. Luffy is, personality-wise.
Yeah, basically.
Monkey D. Luffy's a lot of things, but a wisecracker is not one of them.
He could never be sarcastic. I don't even think the kid knows what sarcasm is.
Yeah, we gotta. Why?
Oh
God.
Wait, what?
Read this comment, Nick.
If you have any children in the audience, leave
Cover
now.
their eyes. Cover their eyes, because those words are a sin.
Whoa, wait. How?
I don't know. Oh my gosh. And Tevia, yeah, it looks good. It's a good idea, but the execution is what's is what's getting me. I'm not
Also-
gonna buy it because I have the game, so I have no reason to.
Yeah, I have all 3 games on PC. I have no reason to buy it. Like, if all 3 games were on the cart, I might have done it just for portability. But because they're pulling their usual tricks, I'm like, no.
If they gave like unique skins, like maybe the Justice League Nightmare Batman or the tactical suit or even the Pattinson suit, I might be inclined because they're giving you something. But if it's just the same things, I'm like, why would I want that? Hey, what's up, TJ?
So
They might save that
my
for
policy.
DLC.
So my policy when it comes to Switch games
How's what
is
possible?
if it's a complete portable version, I will buy it just to have a physical copy.
Okay.
But other than that, like I'll just buy it on PC because I have a pretty decent PC. Like for example, I'm not going to buy Hogwarts Legacy on Switch, even because I know that I can just get it for PC and have a good experience, have a pretty optimal experience, honestly.
Mhm.
I agree.
The only reason I would buy something digitally for Switch is if I wanted it like portably. Like for example, like the Castlevania Advance Collection. I could buy it on Switch right now if I want. Like, I'd buy it on PC right now, but I'd rather buy it on Switch because that's portably.
Tevye, it's not going to open the door to a Super Sons movie for at least 10 to 15 years.
If at all.
Yeah, it won't happen because this guy is 30 years. This guy is too young to have John.
Just no.
It's not just because Batman has Damian does not. It won't be the book that you want it to be because Damian already exists in this universe and John
Unless
is
Warner
not born.
Brothers.
Wait,
Jared, let me
wait,
handle this.
wait. It won't be the same because Damian already exists and John is not born yet. It's not going to be the Super Sons movie.
I will play devil's advocate with him, Jared. The only way this would work is if Warner Brother watches our videos and they literally bring Scion into live action.
Oh, if they
Hey, James Gunn, you suck.
Well, even if they did that, it still wouldn't work because you need to keep Henry Cavill as Superman as well because Henry Cavill will be the Scion in this situation.
Hey, Henry Cavill is Scion. People would pay tickets for that.
That's why I said after. No, it still wouldn't work, Tevye, because again, like I said before, wait. Like I said before, John is not born yet. Damian would be like 30 years old by the time John is the age that he would be in the Super Sons book. Oh, and by the way, Brown Destroyer makes a good point. My biggest problem is that Clark Kent is not a nerd. He's a super giga, but doesn't flaunt because of old-fashioned value of farmer family. Corenswet does not look like that.
That's a fair point.
Here's the thing: Clark is a dork.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not like Clark is a dork. Like he's
not a big galoot, James Gunn.
I mean, he act like, but Clark's a dork. Like he acts very kind of ditzy and all that kind of stuff. But that's he puts on a show. But he's not a geek. He doesn't, Clark has never been depicted as like a nerd or a geek, a dork. Did
you see someone called Superman an incel?
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah, here.
I love how all the reactions.
Yeah, I'm gonna screen on a tweet, and whoever would like to read it may, but I'm just gonna leave it up. It says here, and by the way, I love the reaction. The meme says that Superman is an incel. He's supposed to be a huge dork. He doesn't have chemistry with anyone because he's technically an alien. The whole essence of the character is a nerd fantasy written and created by nerds in the 30s.
Also, I want to give a shout out to the person who posted that meme, Ash and Jackal. We're mutuals on Twitter. He's a really cool guy.
And can I say one thing? If Superman's an incel and doesn't have chemistry with anyone, he's dated an Amazon princess and arguably one of the most well-known journalists in the world. Yeah, big incel.
I mean,
no matter how much of a hate emblem Jared has for Lois, he does give credentials where it's due. So
I mean, let's be honest here. Incel is a word that's pretty much lost all meaning because, I've seen people who are obviously married or obviously have a girlfriend, and they straight up call them an incel. And when they point out, I have a wife, and they still double down on calling them an incel. Let's be honest. It's the 2023 version of calling someone a Yahtzee or calling someone an acist.
And by the way, Nick, actually, Brown Destroyer brings up a good point. No one said Spider-Man's an incel, though. I was just bringing this up for Superman. But this was in the Silver Age. But a post-crisis Superman is more like a modern man, not even a dork. Yeah, that's kind of true because New 52 Clark and even the Clark we have now in the comics is a little... they've abandoned the whole clumsy thing, mostly.
Oh, okay. I mean, like, Spider-Man is a nerd and a geek. Yes, that is true.
But that's
like,
part of his
Spider-Man,
character. Oh,
yeah.
He also slept with Lana Lang and a mermaid. Yeah, Superman's not an incel.
He literally lost his virginity to the mermaid.
Wait. He also had an alien princess from a planet called Almerac come just to mate with him.
Jared, you're also missing the biggest one. He nailed the Amazon princess. Like, I'm sorry, but like the fact that he nailed Wonder Woman, that's like the exact like that is the most the biggest gig. You have to be like the giggest cat of all giggest cats.
He's flexing as he's making out with Wonder Woman.
Maxima.
By the way, speaking of this, because you brought that up, and I appreciate that, Nick. Yeah, dude's not an incel. If he's sleeping with Wonder Woman, yeah, he's got to be. I imagine Superman during that time period of his comics. He's up in bed. He's having just what, and he's like,
you can't keep this PG to save his life.
He looks right next.
What
to
have
him.
I done? What have I done?
He looks right next to him. He sees Diana, and he's like, "Life is good. I got superpowers. My best friends are on the Justice League, and I'm dating a veritable goddess.
Life isn't good. It's wonderful."
Yeah, there you go. He's like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm dating a goddess. I like life."
And then Tomasi wrecks it all.
And Tomasi comes in like a sledgehammer and just destroys it. And by the way, here's a message to Peter J. Tomasi.
You are never going to let that go, are you?
Jared,
no.
we don't need to hear about your future wedding night.
God damn it, Phoenix.
Jared, I got the Wonder Woman costume.
I'm absolutely baffled. How do you look at a character like Clark Kent?
You know I'm right.
Nick was talking, guys.
Like, sweetest comic book characters of all time, characters in general, really. And be like, yeah, he's an incel. Where do you get that from?
These are the same people that say the whole point of Batman's character is that he's anti-gun. And I'm like, tell me you don't. That's why I argue, and this may be a Monday video. By the way, it's going to be the general videos are not going to be called general videos anymore. They're going to be called comic talk. So, but onto this, but okay, I'm not gonna.
What's going on?
I'm not highlighting any more Super Sons comment. This is beyond this. But the thing is,
Tevya,
what was I talking about?
Okay, Tevya, can you kill off the Super Sons comments? We know you.
What was I talking about before, Nick?
I was trying to.
Yeah, I've made my point. What was I talking about before?
You were going into how first of all you were moving.
Yeah, I got it. I remember. Yeah, but this is why I argue Batman is the biggest hypocrite in DC Comics because he says, I'm anti-gun, but I strap cannons to my car and plane and motorcycle.
And he has a wayward son who was a born and bred killing machine.
Also, even if like hypocrisy aside, there has been tons of stuff where Batman has said like, even though we don't use guns, we still need to respect them. Where he literally taught Dick Grayson how to shoot. Where Batman is not anti-guns. He just doesn't like them. He prefers not to use them.
He'll use them if it's like he'll use. And by Tevya, it was a Super Sons comment because read the last line of your previous comment. But it's not even that like he's anti-gun or like the way I see it he acknowledges Gunn as a tool, but it's a tool that he's not going to go for as his first option. I imagine him using it as like a very last resort,
i.e. Final Crisis. But that's a story for another day.
Because the thing is, I really like the story beat in Batman Beyond, where like in the intro, the fact where like he was having a heart attack, he had to use a gun to defuse the situation, and he was so disgusted with himself he stopped being Batman. I really like that story beat. I think it's a really powerful moment. And I think it's safe to say, like, maybe the DCAU version is anti-gun. I think that is a fair thing to say, but maybe not the other versions.
But even that one, he uses machine guns on his vehicles too.
Laser rifles, stun
he shoots missiles at aliens.
Yes, but they're aliens. You think he just
just
uses Kung Fu grip?
That's the other thing. When people complain about Batman killing in Zack Snyder's Justice League, I'm like, he's fighting parademons. Have you read a comic?
The way I like this, here's my headcanon. So I'm declaring this headcanon. You know what I'm saying? My headcanon is Batman is anti-gun up until the point where practicality makes him not anti-gun. So like there's situations where like using for example, aliens, for facing aliens where it's like he kind of has to use a gun, like he has no other choice. Like his method of practicality is like, yeah, I can't be anti-gun in this situation.
Yeah. Didn't he like hang someone from the Batwing?
That was a Golden Age story.
But still, even beyond that too, he's hit people with the Batmobile, and he has like thrown razor sharp batarangs that have been embedded in someone's neck. Yeah,
Lit
I'm
people
sorry.
on fire with the Batmobile.
And had sex with Black Canary as they burnt up.
I was actually referring to Batman.
He did that in All-Star Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder.
Roll the clip.
Nope.
We keep our masks on. It's better that way.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
That's also the same one where Wonder Woman and it's the worst depiction of Super Wonder like ever is in that book. And this is coming from someone.
Super Wonder in most comics.
No, it's not, because here's why. So they're having an argument. It's like a really bad argument whether or not to kill Batman, and then Batman and Superman goes, "Damn you, woman! You have to learn your place." And then they start making out.
Yeah, that's the thing, because like that version of Wonder Woman is very like anti-male. Like he's acting like kind of like a feminist and whatnot. But like she's arguing about men, and then all of a sudden she's kissing Superman. Like
it's inconsistent, dude.
Yeah,
that just comes across as a very edgy and over-the-top lover spat.
Wait, are you saying Mark Millar wrote this book?
Pretty much.
Which came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere, by the way, because if
Mark Millar wrote the book.
If you read Dark Knight Returns, the Master Race, or I can't believe I'm gonna bring this book up, Dark Knight Strikes Again, she's not that way.
I'd also like to point out, though, we're talking about a book series in which Batman and Robin paint their freaking teeth yellow just to, like, get one up over Green Lantern.
Wouldn't it have been better just to, like, wear a yellow mask?
No, but what's funny is that then Green Lantern in his head, in his thought bubble, is like, this doesn't even affect me. What the hell are you talking about? There's also this one where he goes, where, like, Superman doesn't know he can fly yet, so he's running across like oceans. So Batman goes, he doesn't even know he can fly yet, but I do. We're like, how? Yeah, exactly. How? It's the stupidest thing in the world. I'm like, what the?
Wait, did he just cuss live?
No, I said what the. Stop trying to trip me up, JJheat. It's not going to work. Frank Knight's Dark Knight was not canon. I'm talking about. Oh well, yeah. Also, canonical Batman is the biggest hypocrite of all time.
In terms of Wonderbad or in general?
Well, hey, what's up, Andre? Good to hear from you, brother. So, I know. So let's talk finally about David Corenswet as Superman.
Finally.
So, all right. I know people are upset about Cavill. I am too. Let's be clear on this, because we just did an entire stream. We did an entire stream on Nick's channel where we basically geeked out about Henry Cavill for like a half hour, which that was awesome, Nick.
Also, I got to give a shout out. The first like half hour was us just making really bad like flame puns. I gotta say.
We did sing the Office Ryan Started the Fire song. But all right. But the thing is, all right, it's kind of funny. I saw this great meme. So I've said that, like, isn't it kind of funny how he looks like he looks like Henry Cavill, and then someone actually said it's more like Henry Cavill and him both look like Superman, except for Corenswet is significantly less bulky. But
I
again,
mean,
he could work out and like jack up.
I will say this: fair play. Like that is a fair thing to mention. But like even the other actors, like for example, Brandon Routh looks like Superman, but he doesn't look like Henry Cavill.
He looks like Christopher Reeves.
Well, yeah, that's the whole entire point of Brandon Routh is he looks like Christopher Reeve. Like a Christopher Reeve, he is literally the quintessential Superman. Looks nothing like Henry Cavill.
It was to the point when Cavill was cast, hardcore Superman purists wanted them to just not use Cavill, but just deep fake Reeves' face onto Superman, so he could always be Superman.
Like, you do realize where deep fake technology was. Like, you would like Tron Legacy came out around the same time as Man of Steel. You would have literally gotten what happened in Tron Legacy is probably what you would have gotten, probably maybe even a little bit worse.
You think people were pissed off about the Flash? Oh boy! But it's kind of funny. I saw this fantastic meme that was like Zack Snyder has come out and said the awesome CGI in Man of Steel is an intentional choice.
God bless that man. God bless him.
I'm cool with Corenswet and no problem with me on the casting. I mean, and I said not a bad choice. His eyes weird me out. He is also very small, but if he bulks up, yeah, I think I'm because if you look at early,
he's going to be hitting the gym. He will.
Because even if you look at early photos of Cavill, he wasn't this bulky when he was like first in the test suit for Superman.
Yeah, like even look at him like when he was testing out for Flyby, and back in 2002, literally 10 years before Man of Steel. Like, he was really skinny then, too.
And the thing is that I think we have to remember, we have to at least give the guy a chance. Because here's the thing. If we don't give him a chance, we are no better than the people that say it's Reeves or bust.
Yeah, like, I'm the same. I'm, like, that's pretty much my stance, where it's like, we don't know anything about these films. We just have these actors to go off of. I don't know his acting, so I can't comment on that. But just looks-wise, both him and the Lois Lane, I could envision them playing Superman and Lois. So they passed that kind of initial hurdle. And like Jared said, I'm gonna approach this with an open mind. I'm gonna give them a chance to succeed or fail. I'm gonna wait till at least like the first trailers and whatnot. Give them a chance.
Now the thing is, what I'm wondering is, okay, so here's the problem with Warner Brothers constantly monetarily screwing up. I think Superman Legacy, if it does come out, is going to be on the cheap. And that's what concerns me about a Superman movie done for the cheap, because we saw what a Green Lantern movie was like for cheap.
Yeah, like you can do a Batman movie on the cheap. But
Superman, they technically did that with Matt Reeves.
Yeah, just do the Batman too. Like, seriously.
Yeah, but I'm like, if you do because particularly if ostensibly the main villain's going to be Brainiac, which I agree with you, Nick, it's a stupid idea to have Brainiac be the first movie villain. It's a moronic idea.
Well, you can't use Zod again, and Lex Luthor is too obvious.
Parasite.
Use
Parasite. There you go, Nick.
I like how we both said at the same time.
Parasite. And please, for the love of God, don't do Lex Luthor. By the way, I would be fine with either Skarsgård brother playing Lex Luthor. I think they could do a great job with it.
Okay, here's a question for you. I think Metallo is a great movie 2 villain. That's my thing. What are some other Superman villains you think they could use?
They're not using Doomsday. I guarantee they're not using Doomsday.
Too much setup.
For a first movie. What do you
first
think
movie?
Lobo?
Livewire?
Livewire, I want it. That needs to be Supergirl. I'm sorry.
Every bit.
Didn't you start as a Superman villain too? But though in the animated series too.
Yeah.
But I mean, they could do Silver Band. Like, we're talking Supergirl. They could do Silver Banshee. That's like the marquee Supergirl villain, because that is like essentially a Supergirl villain. Livewire they could do.
From what Tevia brings up a good point, because from what we know, Authority members are going to show up in this movie. It's not going to be like all the team, but they will show up. By the way, I love how hypocritical people are being, not complaining that James Gunn is putting Superman in a world that already has superheroes. And then everyone's like, no, that's great. And I'm like, wait a second here. You guys were the same people complaining about Zack Snyder when he didn't give us these movies for Justice League. And by the way, Brown, Ultraman is a wrong idea.
Even if it would be ironic.
That's a setup movie.
That's a setup movie. That's a setup movie.
That you need to set up the multiverse. You need to actually have them be aware of
All
Earth
right,
3.
I have a question for you. So Batman Brave and the Bold, where it's not like super serious, it's a little bit lighter. Who should be the villain for that one, in your opinion?
But first, we're talking about Superman. We'll get to Brave and the Bold.
You already have a light version of Brave and the Bold, and that's essentially Son of Batman.
But
I think
going back to Superman,
Mr. Mapitzanik could be a second movie villain.
oh god, I please don't use that villain at all. He's not. He doesn't translate well to live action general audience movies. Just
Wait,
do
which
not
villain
use
we're
him.
talking about?
Mixelplick. Mixelplick.
I could see him maybe as a sequel villain, but he's too wacky.
No.
What about Roxy Rocket?
No. Now, what they could do will be
Give me a moment.
if they didn't do what's the word? If they didn't do a Brainiac for a third movie villain, they could use Bizarro. Because we know Lex Luthor's in the first movie. You could do movie 1, Lex gets Superman's DNA. Movie 2, the post-credit scene is he's cloning Clark. Movie 3, the clone breaks out and becomes Bizarro.
What if in the first movie, Parasite is Mercy Graves?
Ooh.
I can see it.
Like, what if it's an experiment gone wrong?
Tavia, they're going to be in the Authority movie.
But
what
wouldn't
about
that basically
Damage?
be Metallo? Wouldn't that basically be Metallo as an experiment gone wrong?
Kind of. What about Damage? Oh, you mean DC's Hulk?
No, DC's Hulk is Solomon Grundy. Like that.
No, but
Every bit.
but read the newer Damage books.
No, Solomon Grundy is DC's Hulk. That's not up for debate.
Yeah, it is, because I'm gonna watch.
Have you seriously look at Solomon Grundy?
No, I know, Nick, but this is what DC was going for, because they actually did this thing called the New Age of Heroes when they're trying to give DC version of Marvels. Here.
Is this like Stan Lee creates the DC universe?
No, it's not. This is legit.
This was after Death Metal, Dark Knight's Metal, excuse me, but before Death Metal. This was like at the tail end of Rebirth. But
the way they differentiated him, Nick, is that he could first completely a different personality, and he can only stay in Damage form or Hulk form for an hour.
I guess you could say that. I guess you could say that's quite the damage control.
No, I can't. And his first arc to establish how powerful he is, he bodies Wonder Woman.
Damn. Or darn.
Yeah, I know. No, it's fine. You can say damn. You can say damn. That's fine. But yes, 100%. To establish how powerful this guy is, Wonder Woman shows first he destroys the Suicide Squad, which I could have seen that coming a mile away. Then he bodies Wonder Woman.
At least it won't be a Thor beatdown.
Well, I'm sorry, but the only person who can body Wonder Woman is Superman.
Thank you.
Well, that's a double.
Don't you dare, Nick. And sorry, JJheat. I'm tired. And Phoenix, you can be on top for saying that. Solomon Grundy lost to Bane, so he's lost his mojo for being compared to the Hulk.
But does anyone even remember Hell?
One at a time. One at a time.
Sorry. I have the perfect movie one.
What?
Hank Henshaw, Cyborg, Superman.
Too much setup.
That you need a setup.
Okay. I'm looking at a list of villains. Let's see here. Mongol is an option.
Setup.
It could work, but
you could, but to do it right, you have to set it up.
Toy Man, I think that might be a little bit too silly.
Too silly.
I don't know. I mean,
not necessarily, actually.
Depends which version we're talking about.
the Superman animated series did a pretty good take on
Yes,
Toyman.
that was
so did
that was
Justice
terrifying.
League.
Let's see.
I actually would
Ultra
love to see
Humanite?
Toyman in live
Nick was
action. I
talking.
don't know how they make it work, but
Ultra Humanite. I don't think they're gonna do Ultra Humanite.
Isn't he a Doom Patrol villain?
And he's a monkey. He's basically a Gorilla Grodd knockoff.
No monkey business. Gotcha.
But does anyone even remember Hell from New 52?
Nope. I know what you're talking about, Tevia, but immediately I was like, who? What about the new 52 villain in Action Comics 1 to 5? What one was that? Brainiac? I thought Brainiac was the first guy in New 52 Action.
Was it Brainiac?
Hang on, I have the first trade. I'll check real quick. You guys talk while I try and find that.
And while we're waiting on that,
What about?
Okay. So now you chuckle huts are going to be on the bottom now.
I regret absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it was Brainiac.
Nick has risen in the ranks.
Yes, you have, Nick. You have yet to piss me off. I don't think you will. These guys, on the other hand, they're way past that point.
I'm way past giving a frack, so.
If you're talking about the government being the main villain, I mean, they could do that, but that was kind of Man of Steel, kind of.
Yeah. And General Zod has been done too often, honestly.
Way too many times.
And Lex Luthor also is overdone as Superman villain. Basically, having Lex Luthor as a Superman villain is like having Green Goblin for your villain in the first movie.
Which is why I hope Ra's al Ghul or Talia al Ghul is the villain in Brave and the Bold, going to that, because the Joker has been used so many times.
The Joker.
Talia requires setup. I'm sorry,
but they're already going to have Damian.
To be fair, but even then, I wouldn't make Talia. I would do what the DeCamu did, where you essentially make Deathstroke the main villain.
Oh, and you mean and then off screen make Talia the villain?
Still set it up, mind you. You have
I don't know.
She's corrupted by the Lazarus Pit. She goes insane. We takes over the League.
They should have told us that, but if we're not going to do Talia, I think they could do Deathstroke but that would be way too much compared. That would seem too much like James Gunn's copying off of Snyder's homework.
Yeah, plus we're looking for something lighter, like Two-Face. Like, honestly,
I got it. Professor Pig. I'm only kidding.
Well, at that
the Mad Hatter.
At that point, let's just do Condiment King.
Like, this is absolutely nothing to do with my my own love for Alice in Wonderland, but the Mad Hatter, I remember in the animated series, could be threatening, but he was also kind of, like, goofier threatening.
Oh, Mad Hatter, like, seriously, when you do the Mad Hatter right, you can do some really trippy stories with him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's just limited by censorship.
Korea TV brings up a good point. He goes, well, but Brainiac in live action for Superman is what I want to see. As for Brave and the Bold, I would enjoy a proper Court of Owls set up since he comes from the Bat family. That is a good watch. His first movies are all the new 52 books from the beginning.
My response to that is they're pretty much setting up Court of Owls and the Batman. I'm sorry. It's pretty much. If you watch the movies, it's very clear they're heading in that direction.
Yeah. I'm like.
By the way, I'm really Matt Reeves Court of Owls. F yes.
But here's the thing: if let's say we're wrong and he's not setting up the Court of Owls, I will be pissed.
Well, The Long Halloween would be a good substitute.
No, but still, that movie literally sets up the Court of Owls, like explicitly sets up the Court of Owls.
I agree.
So I'm like, what? Oh, Man-Bat.
Technically, Man-Bat plays a role in Batman and Son, but he's more of a plot device than a villain.
Now the question is...
Also, like, if they use Man-Bat, they have to do a On Leather Wings reference. By God, please.
Yes.
They have to work in, like, he's like, the wings is flapping. It's like it's on leather wings.
That's just a bad pun. That's not a reference. Him hanging, going, "I am vengeance. I'm the knight. I am Batman."
You do know that the first episode of Batman the Animated Series was called On Leather Wings.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying that would be a bad pun if it's like, oh, his wings are flapping. It's like he's on leather wings. I'm like, no.
Like describing the sound like it's on leather wings.
Yeah, but still, I'm just like, no.
Or just recreate the iconic scene where Batman glides above a blimp.
There you go. There are plenty of other better ways they can do that. But in terms of Batman villains, what they could do, they could take. So remember in Arkham Origins when Black Mask hires a bunch of those mercenaries?
Yeah,
Do that.
But that ended up being Joker.
No. We make it actually be Sionis.
I'm sorry, but like I think Black Mask would work really well in the Matt Reeves universe.
Every bit, especially
practically every Batman villain would work well in the Matt Reeves universe, Nick.
Speaking of which, the Batman.
No, we're not done with this topic, Nick.
Mr. Freeze for Batman 2.
No.
Yes.
Part of Ice was a great storyline.
No, but it doesn't work in that universe. I could see more of Hush.
Hush, you would need a lot of setup.
No, you wouldn't. They set it up. If you're paying attention, they set up Hush in that movie.
I mean, they set up a lot of stuff. Like I'm pretty much convinced that little kid is going to become Robin. Like, I am pretty much convinced.
Yeah. As for Clayface and Poison Ivy...
Poison Ivy, no. Clayface, maybe.
I mean, I could see a version of Poison Ivy being in there. Like, a toned-down version.
Yeah. I could easily see this becoming a Gotham situation.
Oh, yeah.
Two-Face would be cool in Matt Reeves' universe.
By the way, JJheat, don't tell Bruce Timm about what Gotham did with Poison Ivy. He might use that for inspiration.
But what if they use Mr. Freeze for Brave and the Bold?
That I could see.
And
I could see.
Yeah, and then what if the story is Ra's hired Mr. Freeze to go after Batman, but Talia doesn't want that to happen, so she's like, I don't, kind of thing. Like, I don't know, because like you could have a plot where Ra's is testing Batman, because like I could see a plot where like Ra's sends like either like a Deathstroke or some other villain to test Batman to see if he's truly fit to lead the League of Assassins or something.
Here's what you do. You do your Mr. Freeze plot, Nick, because that works. But you have it where Ra's al Ghul kidnaps Nora as a bargaining chip and says, you bring me the bat and I'll give you your wife. That way we can basically do the Heart of Ice story.
By the way, that's just begging for a third act team up where like they storm like is it not a part? They storm like imagine they both kick in the door like you're just pulling all my strings tonight, Jared.
And what I would want is at some point I want Batman to end up with Selina because that's the only relationship that Batman has that actually works, as opposed
all of
to
a sudden Gal Gadot walks on screen and starts making out with the actor who is playing Batman.
Wrapped in the lasso of truth.
Yeah, you guys are in the lasso of BS is what you're in.
It's too easy.
But Nix, what other Batman antagonists would you want to see in Brave and the Bold?
Well, I know Clayface was brought up. I don't know how it would work. Like, they'd probably have to use CGI because I don't think anyone's really using practical effects anymore.
Hardly.
And the problem with Clayface is that the universe is marketed by Matt Reeves as a very grounded, down-to-earth Batman universe. Clayface
would
Poison Ivy there. No, it just doesn't work for that universe.
Poison Ivy, you really wouldn't have to do a whole lot.
Brown Destroyer says Catman. I'm like, who?
Wait. Oh, I know who you're talking about. You might as well
remember Catman.
Yeah, I'm like,
Catman. Okay. Sorry, I'm thinking of the Fairly Odd Parents episode. Excuse me, but yeah, Catman.
Oh, I just got an idea, Nick. So going to Matt Reeves, movie 2's villain is not Hush. Let's say it's not Hush. It's just a single Talon. You start hinting the court, and then movie 3 is the main court movie.
You might as well just rip off Batman versus Robin at that point.
I mean, I could see the Talon being a secondary villain, kind of like the Penguin to the Riddler kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm trying to think of like for like the Matt Reeves.
We can talk about that on a future stream because I think that deserves its own thing. But I think this is a good place to call it because I have to be up early for SuperCon. But on that, so in terms of what's coming out in Comics League,
you better take a picture in front of that Appa.
I will. In terms of what's coming out for Comics League, on Monday, I will be releasing a vlog of my SuperCon travels with Latimus and Tyler and a couple other people. And yeah, in terms of Indie Wednesday, we're continuing with the what's the word? Amalgam Comics. I have the Avatar rewatch with Nick. I have the Justice League rewatch with Nick. I have Bendis Point with JJheat, which I'm so happy about, which is basically exploring what DC would look like if Brian Michael Bendis had not shown up. Spoiler alert, it's better. And in terms of movie night, this Sunday at I believe 6:30 is what we said. We're talking about Highlander, McLeod. And JJheat, we have a question for you.
What's up? Hold on.
Right here.
Oh, yes. The 800 review, I just got busy with work. I had to cover someone. So that's why the Trinity 800 review was delayed. And if you guys want to show up, I'll send you guys the link if you guys want to join. But I am planning to review Wonder Woman 800, so be on the lookout for that. I might end up doing that tomorrow midday if I have the time. I'll keep y'all posted in my community tab. But as for my personal opinions on Trinity as a whole, I'll go ahead and tell you guys that now. Just real quick, because I know we're tired. Trinity, there's only so much you can tell in 6 pages. If you want more detail, wait for my review. As for what I got on the channel, Bendis Point, that's going to be a big culmination of everything me and Jay have done so far. New Direction is getting delayed this week to help plan out Bendis Point due to scheduling conflictions. But our next video is definitely going to be the timeline to where we go from New 52, Convergence, unfortunately, because it plays a role in Earth 2 saga. And then New Direction kicks off. And New Direction kicks off from there. And we might as well do an Earth 2 retrospective since we're doing a New Direction anyway.
Oh, I'm down for that.
But yeah, that's I will plan more projects in the future. I'm creating a thumbnail right now as we've been discussing tonight, a New Direction Suicide Squad. I just got to piece everything together in my head and see what that would look like. But all in all, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all at Wonder Woman 800.
Yay! Nick.
By the way, Bruce Wayne is the father.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
You are not the father.
No, he's not, because guess what? That would have been like plastered by Twitter of every Wonder Bat supporter. You can try and fool me, JJheat, but it's not going to work.
Okay.
I know what you were going for, but I'm also I argue with these people on Twitter all the freaking time. So, Nick, where can one find you and what have you got coming out on the channel?
Alrighty. So you can find me on Twitter.
In the description below.
Oh, sorry. So you can find me on Twitter, just on the Phoenix Press. YouTube, search the same. You can also find me on Patreon if you want to see things early or just suggest really bad movies. And then, I got my Comics Watch video coming out soon. Just recorded the audio for that earlier tonight. Hopefully that should be coming out next week. And then I got a tribute coming. I'm going to be putting that on the 4th of July. That's going to be really great. The title will be Assemble and Unite. Take that as you will.
Awesome. And Nix, where can everyone find you?
Find me at Twitter under the Funny Girl Nix.
Sweet. So on that note, everyone, thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us. We will see you next week for another news thing to react to whatever BSery, DC, and Marvel put us through. Stay heroic. Bye-bye.